Viva, tia, viva! Viva! Halala, tia, halala! Amandla! Democrats! Friends! Colleagues! This newly elected leadership team, I think we should give them a big round of applause. Congratulations. Fellow South Africans, Bagaetso, Dumelang, Molweni, yazi kumnandi ukuba lapha in the Eastern Cape, endawo ebizwa ngogama lehero yethu Tatu Nelson Mandela. Ndifuna nditsho ndithi kumnandi ukuba apha ekhaya. Kaloku ma-Democrat ndizalwa yintombi yakwaMaduna, uGubevu, uJani, uTiba, kwaMandla waseTofimvaba. Ay, kumnandi apha ekhaya. Democrats, the great South African novelist Nadine Gordimer once said, a truly living human being cannot remain neutral. Oh, I guess that's why when I look around this hall, I see so many people who are truly alive. In fact, all of us are animated by the idea of building a better tomorrow. All of us carry the belief that, in fact, out of the ashes of apartheid, a prosperous and a united South Africa will rise. Amandla! Democrats, sometimes we disagree with each other. But we disagree because we care so much about the future of this country. And that's okay. It is healthy for us to engage in a robust debate. But let me be clear up front. Here in this party, there will be no room for those who seek to divide or those who want to mobilize on the basis of race. Democrats, we must challenge one another's ideas in a constructive manner. For this is how we learn from each other and grow and be stronger. In this particular campaign, we've had debates on television, on radio, and on pages of newspapers. We've crisscrossed the country to put forward ideas and challenge our opponents. In the process, we've shown South Africa what it means to be a truly democratic party, united in its diversity. Our party remains strong, even if we disagree with each other, because it is built on a solid rock foundation of our shared values. That's what makes us different from other parties. We contest elections, and when they're over, we work together to fight our real enemies. And our real enemies, Democrats, are poverty, unemployment, and equality. That's what we fight. And so I want to say to all of you today, let me firstly say, Ke a leboga. Siabulela. Thank you so much for those who voted for me. Ke a leboga. But whether or not you voted for me, let us today unite behind our shared values and take the DA forward. We are Democrats guided by our values. It is our values that unite us. And I want to tell you today, it is our values that would lead us to victory. And that is because we stand together with many South Africans who share the same set of values. The people who share our values cannot be defined by race or by class. They do not live in a particular part of this country. The people who share our values are the millions of people from all backgrounds who want to work hard to provide for their families and live in peace. Our values, Democrats, can be summed up in 3 words: freedom, fairness, and opportunity. It is in a free society where every individual has the freedom to make their own choices about the life they want to live. That is why we completely reject discrimination on the basis of race, on the basis of gender, or on the basis of sexual orientation. Indeed, in a free society, every person has the power to improve their lives. Because freedom means nothing without opportunities. Every citizen must be given a chance to be the best they can be. I know the difference that opportunity can make to a person's life. Like many people living in Gauteng, abazali bam were migrant laborers who came to eGoli for a better life. My mother and her family from the Eastern Cape with her parents and her 6 siblings. My father, landless and jobless, came from the former Bophuthatswana in the 1960s to settle in Kagiso in the West Rand. My parents worked hard to give us the opportunities they never had. I went to a state school in Roodepoort and did well enough to get into university. I was lucky to be given these opportunities, and my parents were loving and supportive. In fact, my father used to say, I would rather go without socks so that you can go to school. They indeed gave me the confidence to seize each opportunity that came my way. I'm most grateful, and I want to thank all the staff who work in our party who made it possible for all of us to be here today. They are here today. Ke batla ke re go bone Jesu mama le papa ke a leboga. I hope in some way or another I've made you proud. Ke a leboga. Let me also say to my mother, Happy Mother's Day. And also to my own wife, Happy Mother's Day. She said I mustn't say that. Democrats, my parents haven't always agreed with the political choices, with my own political choices. But I know that they are proud that I'm in a party that opens up opportunities. Democrats, this is our party. Our party makes it possible for a child of a cashier to one day be elected as leader of this party. This is the party that we stand for. But in truth, not everybody that I grew up with had the same opportunities as me. I have a cousin who, like me, grew up at Dobsonville, Kokasi. He was raised by a single mother who did her best to provide for a family on a very small income. My cousin went to school where the teachers often arrived late and sometimes not at all. Most of the kids never had textbooks, and there was no after-school activities to keep kids away from the streets. My cousin dropped out of school and never managed to get his matric. He has been without work now for several years. And as a consequence, he's been led into a life of drug abuse and criminality. At the age of just 25, he is unemployed, and worse than this, he is unemployable. This, Democrats, is the tragic story of too many young South Africans. The hope and the promise of 1994 has no meaning for them. Many of them have achieved the right to vote, but their freedom has not been advanced. It is a fact that many young black South Africans continue to be denied access to opportunity, just as their parents were during apartheid. This is what we must change if we are going to succeed as a nation. As Democrats, we will work tirelessly to create a fair society. A fair society is a more equal society. It is a society where every child, regardless of where they are born or where they are come from, whether they are from Soweto or Sandton, has the same chance of making a success of their lives. A fair society is a non-racial society. And I want to make it absolutely clear that non-racialism does not mean being colorblind. We cannot pretend that apartheid never happened. We cannot ignore the fact that apartheid was a system that defined us by the color of our skin. It is a system that could put a pencil through your hair, a system that dictated where you could live, where you could work, or who you could marry. These experiences shaped me, just like they shaped many young black South Africans of my generation. And that's why I simply don't agree with those who say that they don't see color. Because if you don't see that I'm black, then you don't see me at all. This doesn't mean that our skin color must define us forever. The system of racial classification devised by Hendrik Verwoerd was evil and deplorable. And ultimately, we cannot stay trapped in that way of thinking. We must triumph over the evil of apartheid by building a new bridge into a new future. We must not remain Democrats, victims of our past, but we must indeed believe in a better tomorrow for all South Africans. Democrats, we can transcend racial inequality. But this can only happen if every South African acknowledges the injustices of apartheid, and can only happen if we all recognize that racial inequality of the past still remains with us today. And so, we will stand firm on our commitment to implement policies that redress the legacy of the past. We will stay resolutely committed to a system of social security that protects people from extreme poverty. Where we govern, we will continue to deliver high-quality basic services such as water, electricity, and sanitation. We will focus on education because too many children still receive an inferior education, and we know that a good education is still a foundation to a successful life. And above all, we will push for measures that grow our economy and create jobs. Democrats, South Africans, unemployment in South Africa stands at 36%. Of those who are unemployed, 66% of them are young people, just like my cousin. We cannot continue to carry on like this. You see, Democrats as a party, we are quick to get angry about the sustained attack on our constitution and our institutions, which is right. But we must equally be angry about the insider-outsider economic policies that the ANC have delivered to us that have trapped too many of our people in poverty for far too long. We must structure the economy so that young people have opportunities to start small businesses. An economy where we can leverage state-owned enterprises as skills incubators by offering them apprenticeships. We must move vigorously to roll out a youth wage subsidy that will encourage private enterprise to absorb young school leavers. This is essential so that they can have access to skills and knowledge to build a successful career. Democrats, we need job-creating labor regime where trade unions protect their members, but not at the expense of keeping unemployed people locked out of the economy. Bahlali, Democrats, South Africans, bagaetso, ka Labohlano, ke ne ke ile mane ko Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, apa epa. I met young people. They burn with the ambition to create a better tomorrow for themselves. But let me say this, that like at NMMU, from the students of Fort Hare who are dreaming of a different future and ultimately are making a different choice. You see, Democrats, my dream is a dream where a child of a domestic worker can go to university and emerge as teachers, lawyers, and doctors. They want a freedom they can use. A freedom based on fairness and opportunity. These are our values. They are the values that will guide us to victory because so many South Africans share them. These values will underscore the message of hope which will take to the nation in the next coming years. We will show South Africans that when Nelson Mandela died, his dream of a rainbow nation did not die with him. So Democrats, let me quote the words of an American writer, Maya Angelou, who passed away shortly after our beloved Madiba. She said, "The thing to do, it seems to me, is to prepare yourself so you can be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. Somebody who may not look like you, who may not call God the same name you call God, if they call God at all. I may not dance your dance or speak your language, but ultimately be a blessing to somebody." Democrats, we need to be a blessing to everybody. We need to be able to connect with every South African who shares our values but does not yet vote for us. We need to overcome racial, cultural, religious, and economic barriers and build one nation with one future. That was the journey that Tony Leon began in 1994. When he took over the DP, it was a tiny suburban party. But he managed to broaden the DA's appeal to new voters, increasing the party's support from 1.7% to 12% in just 10 years. Congratulations, Tony, if you are here, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. When Helen Zille was elected just 8 years ago, she promised to take this project to a whole new level. It is worth recalling today what she said in her acceptance speech back in 2007. We must convince all South Africans that our party is truly a home for all people. And to do that, we cannot merely tell them, we must show them. We must not only welcome new members, but create opportunities for new leaders to emerge so that our party looks and feels like the nation we want to lead. I think you just have to look around the hall to see that, in fact, Helen has achieved her objective. Benza uthi cheers kodwa. You in fact have to look around this room to see that indeed her resolute commitment to diversify our party's leadership, membership, and support base was one of the main reasons why we were able to double our votes in 8 years as leader, from 1.9 million to just over 4 million. Comment nditsho ndithi ubuhelen ithi siyabulela realeboga onse baya danki siyabonga. Democrats, the next part of the DA story still needs to be written. I want it to be a story of how the DA challenged for power at a national level and won. We must be able to say one day in this country that there is a DA president in South Africa. I want it to be a story of a party that was victorious because it stayed true to its own values. I want it to be a story of how a non-racial party built a political home for all South Africans. Die samelewing waar jou toekoms nie bepaal word deur die kleur van die vel van jou vel nie. Democrats, it's not going to be easy. It will be difficult because our goal to win support from votes of all races at the very moment that racial mobilization is on the rise. Those who mobilize on race have no interest in building our nation. Their goal is to break down the constitutional democracy so that so many great South Africans painstakingly built. As the legendary Sophiatown poet Don Matera once wrote, bulldozers have power. They can take apart in a few minutes all that has been built up over the years and raised over generations and generations of children. The power of destroying, the pain of being destroyed, dust. Democrats, we need to make sure that our message of hope is more powerful than their message of hate. While they are tearing down statues, we will be building schools and creating jobs. While they illegally invade land, we will be implementing successful land reform programs. While they trade on the divisions of the past, we will position the DA as a party of tomorrow. While they play on the people's fears, we will connect with voters on the basis of shared values. Democrats, we must defend the Constitution of the Republic at all costs. We must ensure that everybody is equal under the law. We must continue to pursue our legal battles against the powerful and the corrupt. Let me say this, President Zuma, if you are watching, let me say this to President Zuma. If you are watching this program, we are still coming for you. Make no mistake, Mr. President, you will have your day in court as you've been asking for. You see, Democrats, nobody is above the law. And equally so, no political party has the divine right to rule this country. So when we talk about the second transition, we refer to the process of political power shifting from one party to another peacefully through the ballot box. Democrats, we can make historical gains in the elections next year. We will retain the city of Cape Town. But please, Democrats, I want to be able to say this in Parliament next year. That you see where Parliament is in a city governed by the DA. That President Zuma, where your office is, in Tshwane, is in a municipality governed by the DA. But more importantly, that in fact the municipality named after our great icon, Nelson Mandela, will be in a place governed by the DA. And without fail, the city of Johannesburg is up for grabs. But let me say this. Democrats, the future is indeed bright if we all work together as a team. And I know that we will emerge out of this Congress strong and united. I am deeply humbled by the opportunity to serve as your leader. I assure you I will do the best for all of you. And I know that the entire leadership elected here today will do the same. And ultimately, I want to say to all the leaders in government, whether you're premier or mayor, or councillor, we will always indeed serve the people of this country, not the other way around. Just in closing, Democrats, I want to thank what has been an incredible campaign team. I call you all honorable members. For many who helped us right across the country set up events, I want to thank you. You ran a truly brilliant and positive campaign. Today we make history, and I want to say to you, ke a leboga. I pay tribute to you guys. And finally, to my gorgeous wife. Let me tell you, she has to put up with this crazy life that I've chosen. Thank you so much for supporting me during the tough times. And thank you so much for being a wonderful mother to our children, KG and Daniel, who are also here today. You are... Democrats, let's pursue the dream of a truly liberated South Africa. I want to leave you with this one final thought. When we leave Port Elizabeth today, every step we take will be one step closer to the union buildings. We must and we will win power in our lifetime. We will be the next government of this beautiful country. Because, Democrats, South Africans, change is coming and is sweeping right across this country. Morena, buluka setjhaba sa yeso, God sien Africa, Nkosi sikeleli Africa. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our beautiful land. Ke a leboga. Thank you very much. God bless you.